The change Coco Gauff should make in 2026 to really help fix her serve could be obvious. Coco Gauff's serving struggles cost her time and time again in 2025. They became so problematic that Gauff hired serving expert Gavin McMillan as her new coach on the eve of the US Open. Things began to improve, with Gauff winning the Wuhan Open with McMillan in her corner, although the problems resurfaced in Riyadh, at the WTA Finals. Plenty of suggestions have been thrown around as to how Gauff can address the issue, although the answer might not be that complicated after all. A return to the doubles court may do Gauff a world of good. Why Coco Gauff should play more doubles in 2026. Gauff is an accomplished doubles player and was ranked number 1 in the world in the discipline back in 2022. She won 10 titles in total, many of which were alongside her fellow American, Jessica Pegula. Making a return to doubles in 2026, Gauff would have an opportunity to work on her serve in a competitive environment, under less scrutiny than in singles competition. That's not to say she should stop playing singles, of course, but playing both disciplines at a few more tournaments next year could pay dividends. If there are new techniques or slight adjustments that McMillan wants Gauff to test out, what better place to do it than on the doubles court? The move would not only be good for Gauff but for doubles as well. If Gauff were to start playing doubles more regularly, viewership for those events would surely rise, which would benefit everyone involved. In 2025, Gauff only played 3 doubles events, 4 including the United Cup. Only time will tell if she will choose to play a busier schedule in 2026, but it will certainly be worth looking out for. Will Coco Gauff win a Grand Slam in 2026? Gauff won her second Grand Slam title this year, adding her name to the list of multiple major champions on the WTA Tour. Looking to take 5th place for herself and move clear of Barbara Krejcikova and Victoria Azarenka, Gauff will want to leave her mark in Melbourne. Gauff has yet to reach the final of the Australian Open, but came close back in 2024, when she lost a tightly contested semi-final to Aryna Sabalenka. Unfortunately for Gauff, if she is to win the 2026 Australian Open, she'll likely have to face Sabalenka again. The Belarusian has been a class above on Rod Laver Arena over the past couple of years, and only lost this year's final in a 3-set thriller to Gauff's fellow American Madison Keys. Gauff will be up against it in Melbourne, but she may fare better in Paris, where she emerged victorious in 2025. Again, the likes of Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek will be dangerous, but if Gauff can find her best tennis, on a surface where the serve is less of a factor, then don't bet against her winning her 3rd major title at the 2026 French Open. Should she miss out on titles at the Australian Open and Roland Garros, the 21-year-old will surely have to set her sights on the US Open, having struggled at Wimbledon throughout her career. It remains to be seen if Gauff will win a Grand Slam next year, but you certainly won't want to miss any of the action when she begins her Australian Open campaign on Sunday, January 18th. By the time 2025 wrapped up, Coco Gauff's tennis story had become something of a paradox. She had won a major, reached number 1 in doubles, hovered in the top tier of singles, and carved out a reputation as the toughest closer of her generation. And yet, every time she stepped onto a court, commentators leaned toward their microphones whispering the same line. If she just fixes that serve. It had almost become a prophecy. Every highlight reel glittered with her elastic movement, explosive forehand and Jedi-level defense. Every lowlight replayed the double faults, the missed spots, the second serve sitting up like gift baskets for opponents to feast on. Even fans felt stuck between awe and agony. Gauff was undeniably brilliant, but there was always a feeling she could be even scarier, even more complete. Heading into 2026, the question wasn't whether Gauff would improve, it was how she would and what that one change might be. Many expected a technical adjustment. Others assumed she'd overhaul coaches or biomechanics. But the truth, the real transformative shift, might be so obvious that it was hiding in plain sight. The obvious change: slow down to speed up. In a season littered with high-stakes matches, emotional victories and pressure-packed moments, Gauff's serve often seemed like it was running 1 second ahead of her body. She'd bounce the ball twice, inhale and, almost as if she were late to her own appointment, launch forward before mind and muscle were in sync. The motion was fast, tense, and occasionally rushed, like she was trying to race the very flaw she was attempting to outrun. The change she needed, the one everyone kept overlooking, wasn't mechanical, it was tempo. Her entire serving motion needed to exhale. Slowing down sounds counterintuitive in a sport obsessed with velocity and explosiveness. But for Gauff, it was the missing rhythm, the quiet space where timing, fluidity, and confidence lived. Rushing had made every tiny technical issue feel multiplied. Slowing down would unspool those knots one by one. Tennis historians whispered the comparison. Serena Williams didn't hit 120 miles per hour because she muscled the ball, she hit it because her tempo was poetry. Roger Federer's serve, one of the most efficient in history, flowed like a song. Even modern heavy hitters like Sabalenka rediscovered their serve only after rebuilding pace and breath. Gauff had the power. She had the athleticism. She had the height and the whip-like coil. She didn't need to reinvent the serve. She simply needed to give herself time within it. When the mind moves faster than the body. One of the quirks of being a generational athlete is that the brain is often too advanced for the body. Gauff sees patterns earlier than most players. She anticipates danger steps ahead. She rushes not because she lacks confidence, but because her instincts click faster than the play is unfolding. This brilliance, ironically, contributes to the serve issue. When your brain is 3 seconds ahead, your arm might rush to keep up. The 2026 season could be the year she synchronizes everything again. Imagine Gauff stepping up to the line at the Australian Open. She takes a breath. She allows the crowd noise to dissolve. She lifts the ball toss with a smoother cadence, the way a conductor lifts a baton to begin a symphony. Her shoulder turns with clarity, not panic. The racket drops and rises like it's following a metronome only she can hear. Smoother toss, cleaner line, free release. Ace down the tee. The stadium wouldn't explode, they'd sigh. Because everyone watching would finally see the version of Gauff they suspected had always been there. The domino effect of fixing the tempo. If Gauff slows down her serve motion in 2026, everything else shifts like dominoes. 1. Fewer double faults. Tempo reduces tension, and tension is the birthplace of most serve errors. 2. More placement variety. When she isn't rushing, she can disguise where she's going. 3. Higher second serve quality. Gauff's kick serve could become one of the best on tour, if it stopped being rushed. 4. More free points. She wouldn't need to grind from the baseline every point, preserving her legs deep in tournaments. 5. Psychological domination. A reliable serve is a mental fortress. It flips entire momentum patterns. And perhaps most importantly,